How's it going, everybody? Destauch here, and today I'm just going to give my general impressions of the Marathon ViDoc that we got a couple weeks back. Just my general impressions and how I'm feeling on the game. I am pretty cautiously optimistic now after what I've seen, but without further ado, let's get right into it. So, Marathon. Where are we at with Marathon? Well, if you ask me last summer what I thought of Marathon, I would say it was pretty generic, pretty boring, and just all around a underwhelming experience coming from a developer such as Bungie, which has such a prestigious history. But what I saw today does give me a bit of hope. We did see a lot of improvements, mainly graphically, sound design, and just environmental details in general look fine across the board. We're also seeing gameplay improvements like proximity chat, and that's what I want to get into because I feel like a lot of these improvements are coming because of competition with arc raiders, which is not a bad thing. We've seen in other genres, like the first-person shooter genre, seems like Call of Duty is trying to improve because of Battlefield taking their spot as #1 game for 2025. Now, will they live up to that promise? I don't really know. I don't know if the next Call of Duty will even have the time to really be the genre-defining franchise that they want this game to be, Call of Duty specifically. And that's even going off of if they're even legitimate in what they're saying about wanting to innovate with Call of Duty anymore. But what we can see is that it seems like Arc Raiders' implementation of features like proximity chat has affected the development of Marathon, which I think is a great thing. With extraction shooters, it's all about variables to make it interesting, and one main variable is proximity chat. Now, in Arc Raiders, proximity chat can lead to some horrifying and some hilarious moments in that game, and to see that it wasn't in Marathon really disappointed me, because extraction shooters are about extracting with loot, but it's also about crafting your own narrative, and to have people talking to each other, goading each other, working together, creating alliances, that was a whole element that was going to be missing from Marathon, but luckily, now we are going to have proximity chat in Marathon. The other main thing is the graphics. Now, I remember in my first impressions of the alpha, I was very disappointed that the graphics didn't even really make an attempt to mimic the grittiness of that pre-rendered trailer that we got. You know, that it looked like an award-winning trailer. I think it was done by some of the people that worked on Love, Death, and Robots, but it was a beautiful trailer and haunting. And I didn't really get that vibe from the game itself. When I played the game, it felt like it had some style, but it didn't feel like it had that haunting, just dreary, melancholic tone of that trailer. And a lot of gameplay elements weren't in it to make it feel that way, such as dead bodies and stuff, which we are getting dead bodies in Marathon now that will actually decay over time, but I'll get into that in just a bit. But the graphics overall look a lot sharper. I like all the atmospherics. I love the plants that they've added, all of the foliage. Everything just feels so much more atmospheric, and that's important, especially like I was saying, crafting a narrative, just the immersive elements of this world coming together in a graphical showcase that I feel like doesn't quite get to the point of the trailer, of course. I mean, we're not going to get one-to-one, but puts it in the direction where I can see, yes, this is the same universe as that trailer, and it's going to give me that feeling of haunted, corporate melancholy, dread. I'm just saying all these words, but just having that feeling kind of mimicked in the game in a way that really makes you feel like you're in this world. Now, what I was saying earlier about the dead bodies is because what they're also doing is implementing new mechanics that naturally reinforce what's happening in the game to give you context clues of what players are nearby. So, one thing that they did state was that there is going to be body decay. So now, dead bodies will stay on the map, and after a while they will actually start to decay. Now, that decay can indicate if a player is nearby. If it is a fresh body, you might want to look over your shoulder, because that person probably got killed pretty recently. But what we also have is if the body's there for a while, it'll decay, become like a bloody soup, I believe they called it. And if you see a body like that, you're more than likely okay, because there's probably not the killer nearby, unless they've just been AFK the whole match. But I think that that is so cool to have natural gameplay elements to give you information about the match, but not just things on your HUD, like things that you can physically see. So just imagine you're with your squad and you find that dead body. You can say, oh, this body is fresh, we gotta watch out. I just think that them adding these elements really shows that they're really paying attention to the details now, and when you pay attention to the details, it really elevates the game. Because I haven't even really seen body decay since something like Red Dead Redemption 2. Not saying it's going to have that across the board, but it's a nice gesture from Bungie. But yeah, this isn't really a whole breakdown of the ViDoc, just my general impressions, just coming from somebody who played the alpha and has seen the improvements and wish Bungie the best, because I think that the extraction genre still has opportunities within it. Arc Raiders was the first breakout success, but that doesn't mean that we can't have competition. In fact, I really do hope that Marathon does succeed, just for the fact that Marathon and Arc Raiders and whatever comes after can compete with each other. Because as they say, competition breeds innovation, and we want that in a new genre. If anything, I hope that Arc Raiders is kind of like the PUBG of the extraction shooter genre, and we can just have a age of very good extraction shooters coming out. Hopefully not oversaturated, because I feel like Battle Royale kind of stuck with the market a little too long, and now it's kind of played out. We do have like Fortnite now, which I enjoy, but it did outstay its welcome, and it did lead to some duds. But I think at least two big dogs in the big leagues of this genre could lead to some really cool innovations between the two games. But anyways, that was just my general impressions. What do you think? Are you excited for Marathon? Did this ViDoc actually change your mind at all or make you hopeful? Or do you still feel it looks pretty bleh? Anyways, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. This was Destauch, and I'll see you in the next one. Destauch out.